Thank you very much for making this special trip to the University of Michigan and to accept this interview. And we are so honored to have you here participate in this global feminism project, and which was sponsored by the University of Michigan.
First, I want to thank you. Thanks the University of Michigan, and thank you the Institute of Research on Women and Gender Study. Thank you for Carol, Steph Kak, and Fang Zhang for inviting me here to do this interview. I'm very happy to be here and also to attend upcoming UMA Dragon Project.
Yeah, it's our great pleasure to have such a great like you to come over to Michigan, and we will spend about an hour and a half to deep dive into your life, your art, and we will look forward to all your answers, how you connected with feminism. So first, please let me ask you, can you share with us some of your stories in your earlier times?
Okay, I was born in the middle of 50. Last century. So during my childhood, China economically is not developed. And I grew up, I often say that I grew up by ourselves because there's no toys, no entertainment, no computer, no television, almost no anything that entertained by, by society except ourselves. We make rocks, make a little tree branches, some kind of toys we make ourselves. So, and that's why our imagination is very limited. Something that I would never see it. How I be interested in doing art is by chance. There's a girl from outside different places came to our society. So by chance I saw her drawing copy from images from newspaper. So that's it's the beginning of cultural revolution. Mm-hmm. The young people might don't know China the Cultural Revolution. It was a very big event in Chinese history from 1966 to 1976. During some 10 years that the culture has been totally destroyed and people repressed and the economic almost stopped. And so that was like very severe period of time in China. So I just think about it, I grew up in that kind of period. So the image like drawing something you only can get from newspapers, propaganda kind of material. I saw this girl copy that. I thought, oh, you can do that. You can draw. You can use pencil drawing on the paper. So I started to get me so interested.
Wow, such a great coincidence that many great artists I have heard who were, very young during the Cultural Revolution, they were by chance meeting or seeing some of the artworks, through sketches or drawings or from some images on newspapers. They get so much inspiration from those copies of artworks they can get access to around that time. And I'd like to hear more about your family backgrounds, and would you like to share with us something how you ended up in an art school later?
Yes, my father is working for the government, and he grew up in the countryside. He had a little bit of education from my grandpa, and he was teaching in the private school. That's how he ended up the propaganda department as the head of the department. And when I want to, he knows that I want to study art, and he started to get a panic because the Cultural Revolution and gave him a very serious lesson. And he thinks ideological kind of thing is uncertain. anybody can change. And if I want to be a doctor or an engineer, that will be safer because you have rules to follow. And ideology, is because he had trouble from doing that, from that section, and he was against me to study art. But because I really loved doing art, and because after the girl, showed me how to draw, this very little thing changed my life. This happens dramatically. I determined wanted to be an artist, and also during that period of time, and my father thought I was just a habit. Every time there's an opportunity for me to learn art, he will direct me to there. And also, during that period of time, I saw a very old Chinese flower artist came to our county and to do some kind of propaganda kind of study. And first time I saw him use brush, touch the ink with rice paper, creating so dramatic image. So that even further direct me to be an artist. And that's how I ran away from home. And during that period of time, there's nothing says that a girl can run away from home. But without thinking, I took a 24-hour trip to a bus and train, went to Jinan. It's the capital of Shandong province. So the only school accepts art students. So during the because of the old artist help, so I got into that school. So from there, I started my art journey. And later, my father said, there's no way to change my will, and he became a supporter.
Wow, that's such a great journey. You step on by escaping at the very beginning, and then you move on to the right journey to becoming a future honorable great artist now. So I assume back in the 70s, especially the late 70s, after the end of the Cultural Revolution, that means when you were about to become an art major, there were not many female students in schools, right? So could you give us some background info on that?
Yeah, I went to 2 different art schools. First one, there's no female teacher. There's all male teachers. There's few, girls. We studied art, but very small class, like 15 students. But after that, I got direct to local museum to become a propaganda organizer, helping to make exhibitions. Then in 1977, China opened the door. Suddenly, because the Cultural Revolution finished, they opened to the West. Then West culture, came to China. It's a very strong kind of movement, really wake everybody up. So then we started knowing Picasso and Matisse, Impressionism, all kind of arts happening in the West. So we don't really know, before that, we don't really know the world has art history. So we only know the traditional Chinese art. And though we don't really know that being an artist, you have to find yourself. In the second school, that's open to the whole country, but in that year, and you only accept 14 students from the whole country.
How many applicants?
Total 10,000, more than 10,000 applications, because during Cultural Revolution, there are lots of people got collected. There's no school open. Yeah, and among the 14 students, there are only 2 girls. So by that time, I didn't understand why there are only 2 girls. I thought I was the lucky one, and got accepted, because I'm a lot smarter. I didn't know that because of, patriarchal kind of society there. They don't think women can do art. They think you're a low IQ or some kind. So you look Chinese art history, there's no woman artist in there.
Much, yeah. Wow, so I'm so happy that you have undergone such a hard journey, right? To discover you are not only the lucky one, but you are the one that's going to open up a lot of struggles, right, in the coming life. And so let's reflect a little bit back what you have said in your new book, upcoming. And in this new book, you were, having a strong statement about how you perceived your own value. You were saying, what's the value of my life? And you said, I will answer without thinking. And you said, that touches my heart so deeply. And you said, to give my body, my ideals, my youth, my career, in exchange for a coveted position to watch someone else in the spotlight. So would you please tell us about this dramatic, statement you have? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, that touches you. That's also, I realized there's something blocked me because before that happens in my first marriage. Yeah. And before I'm married, I know I wanted to be, good. I want to be a good student. I want to be a good artist. I did everything by myself. From the very small place, I went to the most prestigious art school in China. That's very first art school, and it has lots of masters in there. And so only 2 girls from the whole country. So I did it all by myself. That's how you can tell. So I have the ability to be something, right? But after I got married, so suddenly I sort of lost myself. I become somebody's wife. So in the old tradition, I have been educated by books, by stories, by history, by parents, by the neighbors, by the culture, is to be a good wife. A good wife means selfless sacrificer. You sacrifice yourself, you doing everything for the family, for the men that you married, for a benefit and that they need. And that's how I think I lost myself, but by that time I thought I'm doing good. I've become a good wife. I wasn't thinking. I also was a teacher in the university. I should be, be more concerned about my job, and but that automatically all becomes secondary. And when my first husband wants me to come to the U.S. because he wants to be the star, he wants to become a Picasso, he wants to be an international kind of a contemporary artist. Now I'm the one supposed to come here to do everything for him, to find a sponsor, to find a school, to find money. So that's how I follow the traditional step. Just now I'm thinking back, I have been highly educated, but my act in the family value, just like my mother, my grandmother. My grandmother has bound feet. And so I did everything just like them. And even my grandma doesn't really read, but she did everything also, according to the traditional kind of rules.
Wow. Yeah, I'm Wow. So coming back to that family background, right? Your life and how you're even, you were inspired by the beginning of the receiving a drawing and then being inspired by the senior oil the ink and wash painter and all your hard journeys through the art schools, and you have been struggling between different roles, right? You want to be a good role model in being a wife, being a mom, and being a daughter, and being, all those positions you have being forced to take those responsibilities. And now shall we move on to talk about something you make, the artwork you have been making over these decades. And I heard that after getting into the Zhejiang Academy of Fine Arts and in 78, and you spent 4 years over there, right? So how did you feel about your life being changed? There is like gigantic like a stage that you think, oh, I'm escaping all those the bags that came from my hometown, whatever, and I'm moving on to a new stage. Do you see that changes? And were your works inspired or shaped by your past experience being a daughter and, a granddaughter of those old-fashioned woman positions? And so would you like to talk about some of the earlier artworks you have been making?
Yes, of course. You go to the art school, you get you get into the system. You get a very good training, especially the scale. I have been in school like 7.5 years, so I learned a very sturdy kind of technique. I almost can do anything, any images, anything that you want me to do. I have the ability to do it. But during that time, the people there didn't educate you. They only focus on the scale. They didn't really educate you. As an artist, you should have thought. It's not what you see, you draw. It's not that how is the art came from, and how do you represent you, and what you want to educate people by doing the art, use the artwork. And we don't really focus on that, so that wasn't really important. But after the Western art came, so we realized that like Van Gogh, like Gauguin, and those people, they're searching for their own identities. They use their emotion and put in their art. They become special, individual kind of artist. So I start to understand the artwork is not just drawing, just pretty paintings. It's something representing you as a person. And so that's how I start to thinking. Because my school is in Hangzhou, is beautiful city. Called, in Chinese said, there's heaven
on earth.
Yeah, heaven on earth. In the beginning, I was being touched by the environment. I thought, I have come from north of China. This is south of China. The environment, so the landscape is different. And I tried to learn that landscape. But since I started to understand art has to represent yourself, so I started to analyze myself. I'm from the north. My personality, my education, my environment is different from the place I was enjoying. And if I want to be different, I have to know who I am. So I start to searching for what I love. So in the second year of college, and during the vacation, I paint 2 women, young mother, with the 2 kids. Everybody has 1 kid. And little chicks with a chicken, because I just want to show the motherhood. you know, the chicken has motherhood too, right? And this little hen is love her chicks, and the mother is really love the baby. But when I showed to the school, the head of the department, and he said that he criticized my painting, says that you look like you encourage people to have more baby. I got so scared because that in the early 80s, China started policies, one kid, one family. You cannot have more than one kid. You can get in trouble. You either lose your job or they cut your salary. Then it's not good. So, you know, I got nervous. I stood up and talked to the director. Says, you know, the art is right now, the political it shouldn't be connected with the art. There's art. I want to, you know, describe the motherhood, human reaction, natural reaction to women. So there's nothing about a political point. Nonetheless, before I start to argue with that, I probably, you know, kick out of school, probably not here. I'm probably somewhere else. I'm probably doing different things. Luckily, you know, China was open door at that time. Even because that's old people, old teachers, they're still stuck with art correct, you know, still, or the political correct. They're still stuck with the, you know, the country needs. Put that in more important than the art.
Wow. So you in your childhood you were fighting the patriarchy that happens in the neighborhoods, in the community, in your family, you know, rebellious against your mom, and in the institution, in the art school, you're fighting against those people, you know, who want you to abide by the rules the government wants all the ladies to follow, like one child policy.
Yeah, that time I didn't really understand feminism. I didn't read. I just react by nature and reaction, because I sort of, I got the traditional education, but I sort of grew up in the freelance. My parents, they're working for the government, but they're farmers before. They don't know how to educate kids. They let me grow freely. So and at that point, I was still a student. I still think I have a right to, you know, to be a person. But until I got married, I lost my right.
Oh my. Okay, I did want to let us step back a little bit, because we were reflecting about your previous works and previous life, and I was so curious to discover that you were one of the two women artists, being women students, right, to be accepted in such a prestigious art school, and you were only maybe one of the very few women who were, you know, employed by an art school, right? How could that be?
You know, in the Zhejiang Academy for Art, exists for a long time, and they only have one woman teacher before I came, and during the history, and I became the second one after the culture. I'm the second one or female teacher, but I'm the first one after the Cultural Revolution. So that was very difficult to become someone like that. Later they told me they had lots of argument talking who's going to be remain. They only have one person can take this job, and lots of people question, this is a girl, and she's going to get married, she's going to have kids. We have to thinking hard, but because I was outstanding student, I was good of everything, because I believe if you use heart, you can achieve everything, and that's, I always think I always follow the rules. You should be a good kid, a good woman, good of everything, good wife, a good student, good
good artist.
Yeah. So I was trying so hard to be good, and especially the graduation piece that I created. Because during the Cultural Revolution, my father got sent to the countryside. I have very short period of time, live in the countryside for a little while. So I got lots of influences from them, and they're very warm. They're open arm for us, and they're not like the Cultural Revolution, the Red Guard kicking us out, where we supposed to stay. And then that sits in my heart. So the graduation piece I did my countrymen, my country, but during that the big painting, more women than men. So like I always do, I paint more women than men. I have very few men pictures in my artwork.
Wow. Okay. So from your CV, I did find out there was some missing links in the late 80s and 90s. So what happened during that time that stopped you from making artworks or even attending any exhibitions? What happened?
Yeah, I totally disappeared because I got married, and my ex-husband very demanding. He said, "We don't need a kid. We should focus on art." I'm the one should 100% support him, and when he made it, and he will come back support me. But it wasn't happening like that. I did all my effort to support him, and I came to the U.S. 1 year earlier. I did everything required to help him to come here, and after that. Also, I have to make money because two artists in the family, and the big shock to me is in here everybody has to make money. In China, we have job. The government gave us money, not too much, but a little bit every month. You don't have to worry. But in here, you don't have job. You totally can be homeless. So I start to creating some artwork that's good for the market. So I call it commercial art. But lots of people still like it, especially my husband knows. He said, "That's fantastic work. I have over 10 galleries to sell my artwork. I have to be home paint day and a night." Sometimes my ex-husband go out to have shows. I will stay behind. I don't have time to go with him. And so when anybody calls, because I haven't spoke to with everyone for a while, sometimes I lost my voice. That's how I can tell you how much pressure on me have to do that. Even I have over 10 galleries sell my art, but I get paid very little, and because the people take advantages. I'm a foreigner here, doesn't really speak good English, and I don't know how to run a business. And so that's how I didn't really focus on myself. After the marriage, falling apart, doesn't matter how much effort I put in, but still, it's not enough for him because he's, always searching, looking what is good for him. And the marriage built on the unequal kind of a base. So then, because he going out meeting more people, he started to have affair. This. I start to feel that a failure because I didn't do my best to be a good wife. I totally got depressed, and I thought that that my whole purpose of life is gone. You know, because you know my be a wife. No, I have no space to be a wife anymore. So that's how you didn't see me. I totally forgot not painting anymore. Because I paint day and night, I got so hurt. I don't want to paint anymore. I found a job working in the textile design at the company. I got paid good because I do a good job. I always try to be good. And so I thought art is not helping me. It really hurt me. I don't know.
Thank you so much for being so open and frank with your past struggles and sharing with us all these emotional frustrations, intensity you had during those years and dark times. And we were stricken by so many of your strong feelings like anger, hate, resentment, you know, failure, agony, betrayal, all those type of bad emotions, frustrating and suffocating. But we can see this self-esteem, low self-esteem has a root, you know, coming not only from the cultural tradition, but also the struggles you have been fighting all through these decades in your life. But we are so impressed that now you have come out of this journey, come out of these deep troubled waters, right? So would you please tell us how you find a way to exit these deep troubled waters?
Yeah, I got a very, I don't understand what happened. So I tried so hard. I did almost everything he required or asked. And I asked, why? Yes, I'm a bad person, and I have bad fate, you know, because everybody's saying this is fate, you know, accept it. So I can't accept it. I started thinking, and after a 10-year marriage, I have no family, no money, no financial, because he spent all my money. And I have no career because I didn't really focus on myself. So I have sort of have no future. And but that time I got married. I remarried. I had a kid. By the postpartum depression, and you know, I went to deep depressed. I often every day live on the edge, live or die. I understand why people suicide. I think that you really don't feel life is so precious anymore. And I started to, the psychologist told me, maybe you're an artist, maybe you can, you know, use art. Art often can heal to dig into yourself, see what you want. By painting those out, you might can find a way to solve this. So during the millennium time, I paint on 14 paintings. I start questioning life, why people live, right? I start questioning death. My father passed away. I've started to question about love. Why love led you so painful? And so now you look back the 14 paintings, you really see very dark. And so from there, the 9/11 happened. So that totally touched me. I got so sad by so many lives lost. And I started looking internationally, the culture. So I realized there's so many women has similar kind of experience. So many cultures, they have similar kind of rules. Women are secondary. They don't really have their identity. They don't have equality kind of rights. And they've been punished. They've been used. They've been, toast like a thing. They don't really human. They really serve for the patriarchy in society, the whole patriarchy, like over millennium kind of years that treating women very badly. So I start to realize that I'm not only one. I'm not because I'm a bad person. I'm because I'm a woman. So I start to understand that, relieved a little from blame myself. I saw there's no way you can have to change except the few lucky ones. And they're not really, the lucky ones are not really being anything equal, And the very poor ones, they have very even better, worst kind of situation than I was. So I start to understand that women want to change, and you want to be treated good, you have to change the whole society. You can't just be sad by yourself. You have to tell people, or you have to wake up the whole world. So I start to become very angry. I'm angry. Why someone have the right can take you my almost 20 years of my life? Because after divorce, I got depressed. It's like I have a piece of dark cloth over my head. Everywhere I go, always on my head. Everywhere I go, they always tell me, you can't do this, you can't do that. This is not good, you are in the bad. Always criticize me. I got the anger, and I felt that I have so many things inside me. Why people cannot see it? I during the painting, I cut my heart out. I want to show people my heart's red, just like yours. Why don't you see it? I also draw myself like not a perfect animal, but I have human head. This soft poetry kind of series. I did a series of my soft portrait in that kind of stage. Being in the cage, there's so many rules is block me to get out. And I was tell, but no one can hear my voice. I sort of choking myself because even I have so many things inside that nothing can come out because the society is not, people are not willing to hear you. And so my husband he's a martial art person. So I study karate in his class. So by punching, kicking, so I thought about it. Every time after class, you feel relieved. So I said, I'm an older person. I still want to punch last blow. Even I want to fight this patriarchy society. Even I can die on the battle, but that's how I will do in my rest of my life. But during that period of time, I started understand. My friend, I have some American artist friend, and Nancy. She's a breast cancer survivor. She's pretty well known. She did sculptures with one breast. And so I started to understand, that also called art. You can do art like that. That was when I succeeded doing commercial art.
Yes,
That was
rising above those commercial art, but coming to your own, creativity and inspired by your own lived experiences.
Yeah.
Wow. And we were so amazed at how you fight back, not only with your artwork, but by connecting with the other women community. So the next question will be related to what kind of sites, the sites of actions and interventions you have been involved with, that you have been focusing on working with different frontiers, to fight back those frustrations and being woman dehumanizing, right? Being dehumanized. So can you share us with some other places and interventions you have been working with?
Yes, of course, yeah. Of course, since I started understanding the woman's situation in this society, right? And also by reading reading Simone de Beauvoir's books, and also reading Mary Stonecraft's that
The Vindication.
the Vindication to fight for women. That book I read like lots of times, like 20 times about listening, because that was something like totally make me understand that feminism is like a light for women to searching for their equality. And feminism is the way that women should be followed to really get to be treated like a real human being. And so I started to give lectures and organize some kind of a Zoom meeting. And I just want to use my story to tell people, even you're a girl, you on your own, you can be very good. But if you're in the patriarchal society, you're not going to be achieved. Doesn't matter how much, how much you try. And I start to really focus on the feminism, women's art. And I know art has lots of power. They really can make people cry, make people happy. And because I was in there, I really cried when I saw something that touched my heart. So I want to create something that really can help people to understand feminism. Can I talk about breast?
We are so empowered by your, frustrations and how you rise up, over these dark clouds, right? You mentioned about, and then you seek out your own career through finding the lights, finding the love, right? And finding the support you can give out to the other women. So you did stress, all these past decades of frustration, but you somehow seek out the way, right, to survive. And so we are so blessed that you are writing this ceaseless self-reliance for this interview. Can you tell us about how you step into the next position, position of being a feminist leader?
I become feminist leader, yes, because I did a few very outstanding artworks. When I started doing women's art, I started thinking what to representing women. We have to find an image, because you're doing art, you have the image, right? So I figure out, I think breast is can be very good to representing a woman's life, because in the beginning you don't really have breast. You sort of like a human needs, just like physically, like materially, you just like boys, girl and boys, not much different. But you being educated, like you have to wear pink, you have to be gentle, and but beside that, it's not much different. And but when women start to grow breast and start to have a menstruation, the body tell you are a woman. And before you got married, you're a virgin, you're more valuable to the patriarchal society. But once you lost your
virginity,
virginity, So that's a real breast function. You know, you start to take care of next generations, and that you become exposed breast. The breast is not value much anymore, and also the patriarchal society developing the beauty kind of
Standard.
yes, standard. You know, whole 36, 32, 34, whatever the numbers.
C cup.
Yeah, is the woman supposed to looking. That's the beauty for men's gaze.
Male gaze.
Male gaze, yeah. And but once you're getting older, your breasts become a bag, you know, just hanging there. So you become worthless. So that's how I think I will creating thousands of breasts just in front of you, in front of the patriarchy. So what do you react to it? I want to see this a woman's power. Woman's breast, you know, breast very beautiful, and that, you know, I use woman's very good at it. Use fabric sewing. I remember I went to the sewing factory when my first job, so I know how to sew, how to cut, and I also use that Chinese very traditional kind of method to make them and very, you know, different color of breast, and use different fabric that representing different, you know, different women and different, you know, class, different kind of religion, you know, representing a different kind of woman. So I made like over 10 meters of the breast wall, and in the first show in Shenzhen, that was in 1995. Oh no, that was 2000. Yeah, 2000. That was 2015.
Yeah.
That was 2015, and the people crying in front of the because it was so shocking, and so many breasts, and they don't know how to react. The tear came out, and some people couldn't stop crying, and they just crying aloud. And when I first see that, I was surprised, making me really thinking the power of art. Then later, because I know karate, so I thought about it. Women just like punching bags. They've been punched, they've been thrown, they've been punished. And so I put a breast on the punching bag. So I had one chance that the organization see my work in the Facebook. They took me in. They organized this show for 2 years. Just 1 month before the show, they found me in the Facebook. They put me in. They gave me the whole big room.
Wow.
I have a room full of punching bags. People walking like in the forest, and some people try to push it all, but with gentle kind of hands. Nobody really like, punching bag is supposed to punch it, right? And nobody really punching it, but they do ask, can I punch it? I say, yeah, that depends on you. You can do it if you want, right? But you can fit by the movement, the punching bag, the move back forth. You have the feelings by people really respect this because they not only make them think that punching bag what they got, also they can feel the warmness, what's the breast warm up the punching bag. They can, people, the fighters, they push the punching bag, they can hurt their hand.
Yeah.
But you can see women, they can live in this world because they can
resilience.
Right, they're resilient. They can self-protect. They still live in this world strong. And this world without women, they cannot survive, right? So, so I sort of look at myself like a soldier. You say like a warrior. So we're fighting in this, in this modern age, but you still sometimes you still feel the patriarchy is still there. Like you can't, no, even in this country, some places you can't get abortion yourself because woman's body should be, the woman have the right to decide what you want, right? And but in different countries, different culture, there's a different religion. The woman has been treated, even in this age, it's very bad. They die all the time. In a few years ago, during the pandemic, the people found in China, this woman has been chained 20 years in the dark room, has no door. And she been raped so multiple times. She had 8 kids without her, permission. And it's because she was forced, she biting people, and then they took off her teeth. Wow. This happened in the modern time. So being a female, being a artist, I never denied I'm a feminist artist. Mm. I never denied it. Even I tried to recruit some women artists to have shows together because there's not too many women art shows. And so I decided to curate the art show. I decided if you don't give it to me, why? I'm not looking for, I'm doing it myself. So I found a fund and I find artists from internationally, including some Chinese artists, because that can you have a multi-language, you feel more powerful. Mm. So I showed a good example of what feminist art shows. It's not like a woman paint flowers, woman paint landscape. This is this is woman's art. It's a woman art could be a weapon. We can use that fighting the battle. And I understand that feminist art, there's not much market. And if you want to make money through feminist art, it's very difficult. You make a choice. You want to be the voice of a woman, so you have to sacrifice. This is also called a sacrifice. Mm. But you sacrifice for the big
benefit.
Yeah, big benefit, big vision. So I'm willing to sacrifice. Before I had so many galleries, I don't really care at this point. And some galleries, looking for me, I'm working with you. But if you don't care, I don't care either. I just, working with the universities, working with the museums. Mm. I mean, there's a more intellectual kind of a field, in a lot of space you can get in. That's what I'm looking for now. We need to working with whatever who wants to working with me. Mm. I can't stop telling my story because I want people to learn from what I've been through. Mm. And I want to make the voice bigger. I want to have a microphone here, tell people my story, and how I became feminist artist. Mm. And I want to be the idol to show women can have power. You can change the world.
Wow, it's a brilliant summary about all your, support of other women, right, during the COVID.
Yeah, I forgot all that.
Yeah, during all those, it comes all those moments, and you have been working a lot with not only the organization galleries, but also a lot of independent you curate many exhibitions.
Yeah, I have very good mental kind of help from Gail Levin. She's a very famous art art
scholar,
art historic. And then she wrote Judy Chicago. I met Judy Chicago too. And also I'm working for Susan Gribble. She has this woman organization. Every time she has a feminist art show, she will invite me in there. So I also attend some kind of protect.
Protests,
like Me
demonstration,
Too,
movement.
Like My Body, My Choice. Often goes to the street to to be one of us, to be I no hesitation. I will join all kind of organizations to get a woman's voice up.
Yeah. And it's a great journey, and we see how you rise up from a little girl in the countryside in Shandong, becoming a female, one of the 2 artists in the art school, and becoming a non-English speaking artist living in this country, struggling to make a life for yourself and your husband, and then becoming, different, stages of your life. You have made us a lot of strikes and to fight, and not only being a woman, but also a feminist, but a leader, mentor to many other female, fellows. And we are so much inspired, impressed by your life. And this thing we mentioned a lot, right? Can you tell us why, when we were thinking about what are we going to use as a backdrop, you created these 4 letters? Tell us a little bit more about this.
This is called 自强不息.
Yeah.
So you always believe yourself, and you always can be stronger, and you never stop to be a strong woman. And I forgot to mention that I also started called the Chinese Chinese Feminist Artist Alliance. Fang was in the group before, but somehow there's some kind of but we're still doing it, and I am planning to have more people to join us, and we're gonna make better kind of environment, have more art shows, to give them more opportunities to showing their artwork, and to do more work in this field.
Yeah, we'd like to hear more about your upcoming inspiring art exhibitions or projects.
Yes, of course. Yes. My mentor is Gail Levin. One time she told me that in Judy Chicago dinner party, very important piece is a permanent show in Beacon Museum. Yeah. And there's only one Asian representative. It's from India. It's Hindu kind of goddesses, Kali. So before they said that if you creating anything with one of the name in that dinner party, you can get show in Beacon Museum. So
it's connected.
I started to study Kali. I thought I found out she's a really good example for women to follow. Because her story was developing in the old time, and according to patriarchy kind of a system, she being described like an ugly woman, and has dark face, and her has very emotional kind of a temper. She can move the earth because when she walks, and she can her tongue also stick out. But I found out stick out the tongue is some kind of culture in the North Pacific, and that's it's a New Zealand and also like Hawaii. They have a haka kind of a dance. Their tongue stick out. It's not only Kali, but that's how she being described, and that means a powerful woman's ugly. Yeah. Yes, according to. That's but she also very motherly kind of love. She rescue all kind of beings, living beings, and she also preventing devil and destroying the demons. And I think that in this world, even in the modern world, and as a woman, some women lack of the power, and she could be a very good example to empower women, to standing up, to show you women, woman it's a power. So that's why developing a series of that kind of I use a tapestry material and style to doing that, because they're more connect Indian art or Asian art, and also connect to women's, women's being very good at it, doing this kind of, usually be patriarchal society says the crafts, but they are very good art. Now the feminist art use more this kind of material to representing women's skill, to showing this this fine art. It's not a crafts is not not as good as art, right? And crafts also can be fine art.
Sure.
And you look at the history. There's art history. There's no this kind of art involved, but in the old time, the Christian kind of religion art, there's some kind of like tapestry art in there. But in the now that's sort of like been dismissed for a long time, and that now so we women who recognize that, so we try to use that more to emphasize women.
Wow, so much
and I
information.
have show in right now in the Beacon, and it's called KuBe Art Center. It's organized by Ethan Cohen Fine Art, and curated by his mother, Zhang Cohen. Zhang Cohen is the person who's first bring Western art to China, and she did lots of lectures. But she recognized there's no many women artists. From that point, she started to have the idea, want to have women artists. But during almost all these years, it couldn't happen because he couldn't find money to doing that. And but it's happened this year, and her son creating this art, and Zhang Cohen as curator. They both are curators, and then contain like over 10 women artists. I have 4 pieces colored in that show. It's going to close in October, middle of October, but I am also working on my personal shows for next year. So I want to use this series as my main artwork, and also including the breast, also including ink art, because of my art mostly focus on the women's art and LGBT and the weak link, the earth has been overdeveloped, and also the air pollutions, all kind of this. And I know I want to focus on immigration. So I want to really use art as my weapon to do lots of good for this society.
Wow, we wish you a great success in your upcoming solo show, and keep us, updated about when and where the show will be organized. And thank you again for today's interview, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.